Hello my sweeties and welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know me, my name is Elise and thank you for joining my spooky little family. In today's video, we will be ranking the entire Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. And I have a very special guest here with me today, the queen herself, Melissa. And now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Melissa and I actually did an entire video where we compared the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the 2003 remake, so be sure to check that out if you haven't yet. I am gonna link it right up there. Melissa, oh my god, queen, hi, how are you today?
I am doing great. Back for another round of Texas Chainsaw.
Just for everybody watching, I do not know Melissa's ranking. We did watch a bunch of these films together, but she also doesn't know my ranking, so this is gonna be surprising in itself.
It's a surprise. Oh, this is gonna get spicy. I'm curious about a lot of these.
Oh, I also want to point out really quick that before anyone comes for me, like I say in all of these videos, this is solely my opinion. If you like any of these movies more than me, that's fine. Not everyone is going to like the same things. It's not that deep. It's never going to be that deep.
It's not the vibes. Stop.
Speaking of not the vibes, at number 9 we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation. Yeah, I was hoping for the best because I saw Matthew McConaughey and was like, all right. But no.
You know what's funny? At my number 9, you know the vibes. Yeah, I got the same one at number 9. Burn it with fire. That's all that needs to be said. Burn it with fire.
I'm kind of sad because last minute I didn't watch it with Melissa because I was trying to get a head start. I wish we did watch it together because
it would have been a lot easier to watch, honestly.
Would have been easier to get through.
I don't think I've ever wanted to turn off a movie so bad in my life. If there's someone out there watching this video that actually genuinely likes it, I really want to know why.
Actually, yeah. Let us know in the comments below if you enjoyed this film. The thing for me with this one is I'm not really sure how they got two very talented actors because the script is actually really bad.
It's so painfully 90s. Matthew McConaughey could not save this movie. And the robo-leg with the remote.
What was that?
When he kept pulling out different remotes from his back
so
pocket.
Bad. Yeah, it was so bad. Okay, I have to say this. We all know that Renee Zellweger is a good actress. I mean, but she was awful here. Now, I don't know if it's the script. I mean, it very well could be, but she was really bad. She was getting hit with stuff and she was just like, ow, don't hit me. The good thing about Matthew McConaughey is that he just always gives his all in everything, even if it's shitty. And he did that here, but it doesn't save it because the character and everything is just so bad.
What the hell did they do to Leatherface?
Oh my God.
In this movie? Why does he look like that one crusty tia that you haven't seen in ages that randomly shows up at the family funeral, but no one likes her? Titi Leather, really stop. Does. Sorry.
Okay, and now at number 8, I have Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. If you have not seen my review of this film, you should definitely go check it out because the Lord knows I do not want to continue having to talk about this film on the channel. Unfortunately, this did not hit for me. It is a mess. Script is bad, cringy writing, unlikable characters. Leatherface doesn't look very good.
Damn, so if it really came down to it, you're stranded on an island and you have 2022 and part 2, and you have to watch one of them nonstop on repeat.
Ew!
When it really boils down to it, which one are you gonna watch over and over again?
Neither.
All right, for my number 8, I have to put part 2. I'm sorry. I don't think I could live through watching that one again, and I'm so sorry because I know there's a very specific niche group of people that love this movie, but it just wasn't for me. The fact that I laughed more at the other ones that actually were meant to be serious than I did at this one. Enough said.
Yeah, I can completely understand that. We watched that one together and we felt similarly. Well, speaking of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, at my number 7, it is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It's supposed to be a horror comedy. I don't think it's funny. To be honest, it kind of was just like such a noisy movie and like nothing happening, and that's an issue for me. The acting, it looks like everybody was having fun. So, I have to give credit where credit is due. It looks like they had a great time, but this is just not for me.
Now going on to my number 7, which honestly, going through the notion, I almost made a change. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm sticking with it. At number 7, I put Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. I almost switched it with my number 6 spot right now on the spot, but I'm like, no, let me just keep it this way. Because a lot of the way that I listed it was based on rewatchability too. Like, would I want to watch this again over this movie? As controversial as it might be when you find out what it is. It just felt so boring for like a really long time. I don't know. It kind of kept taking me out. Like, I found myself on my phone more than I probably should have been.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say the last act, pure comedy. That should have been the one marketed as a comedy.
Absolutely. It was hilarious.
I refuse to believe that half of the lines and the things that happened in that act were meant to be serious. The one thing that really sent me, besides Leatherface masks in general, everything is like going down, things are going crazy, everyone's like throwing hands or whatever. Leatherface is just sitting there like, hand all bloody. He's just like,
that scene was amazing. That was amazing. Pure class.
It really shook me how the more and more I watched through these movies, it really shook me how high up some of these movies were gonna have to be placed.
To be fair, most of the franchise is not very good, so we really don't have that much to work with. So at number 6 for me, I have Leatherface from 2017. I don't know. I wanted to like this, and I went into it open-minded because I saw that it's directed by the same guys who did Inside. And I love Inside. That's one of my favorite French movies. They had some cool ideas, but I don't think that the movie is executed well. It's directed somewhat well. The story it's not very interesting. It also doesn't really feel like a horror movie. It kind of feels more like a thriller mystery TV show, which is weird. And also, again, like, nobody is really that interesting, and I don't really care about any of these people. And then there's a bunch of scenes in this movie also that are just really tacky and not for me. That one, like, necrophilia scene. I'm gonna pretend it doesn't exist. I'm gonna pretend I didn't have to watch that.
I think they did pretty well early on in establishing that these two people are extremely mentally unstable.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're like the crazy Bonnie and Clyde kind of couple. Like, that was just not necessary. Like, we already know they're psychotic. I did not need to see it to know that.
It's just stupid. It's a stupid thing to just throw in there and be like, ooh, look at how crazy they are. Like, we know.
Ooh, okay. At number 6, I have, this is going to be a bad one. This one also I did not think was going to rank this high up, but given the circumstances of most of the movies in this franchise, I have the 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I went honestly with like the lowest of the low expectations. Like, I was just expecting this to be dirt, but we got it higher up there. I think, our Leatherface, we had a pretty decent one. I kind of like seeing those softer moments with Leatherface and whoever he's caring for or is caring for him, because I feel like that kind of ties it back into like the roots of the original. It's like, in his own sick and twisted way, this is him protecting his family. Everything he does is for them. I kind of like seeing those little moments between him and, I think, Miss Mick was her name, played by our queen Alice Krige. She was fucking great in Silent Hill, and I kind of hate that was the most use they made out of her because I think she's a really talented actress. And then don't get me started on how dirty they did Sally.
I respect that you like it. I'm glad that you got some enjoyment out of it because I did not. It's good to see that there are other people that actually did. At number 5, I know this is going to be like a really hot take, and I'm sure some people are going to get pretty mad about this, but if I'm honest, I don't care. I have Texas Chainsaw 3D. Yes, I do. And you know what? I did not think that this film would make it this high on the list because if I am being honest, again, this franchise, there really is not much to work with. It is not a very good franchise. Most of the movies are a hot mess. But you know what? This one, at least it's like somewhat fun. At least it's quotable. In a stupid way.
Do your thing, cuz.
I'm not sitting here saying it's a well-made movie and it's like a masterpiece. It absolutely is not. But I mean, it's funny. Maybe it's not supposed to be, but I think it's funny. So I'll watch it again.
No, because I can never get over the fact that everyone we ever spoke to about this movie remembers it being, get him, cuz. And we literally were quoting it. And Homegirl has the decency to say, do your thing, cuz. And we're like,
that was pretty weird.
And it's like other people that I know too that I've talked to about that. They're like, yeah, she's like, get him, cuz. Like, are we bugging? At number 5, I have 2017 Leatherface, our little prequel. Although I will say, I don't think it really fits in. I feel like it's almost one of those that it could have possibly just been better off as a standalone thing. The whole ending sequence was pretty good. I definitely agree with you there. Like they definitely thought about that first.
Yeah.
And they did not know what to do because even reading the synopsis, I'm like, what? But I don't know. It's definitely not horror. Like I know it's labeled as that, but it definitely feels more crime, thriller. I feel like this almost would have been like a cute little one-off Netflix crime thing instead of like a full-length movie.
I remember what I was gonna say. Okay, so one thing I was gonna say about Leatherface 2017 is that it was giving, for me, it was giving American Horror Story vibes. It could be a season.
It could be a season. And you know what? I think that would have worked better off.
Me too. So this may come as a surprise to many. And you know what? It was a surprise to myself. But I don't hate this. And this is like, it was kind of fun. At number 4, I have Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
I tell you, the whole ending sequence is what sold it, really.
Yeah. Another thing for me with this is, okay, so I know that Leatherface looks really awful in this movie. He looks awful. His mask is awful. But I have to say, I do like the whole bit where they give him the chainsaw and it says Saw is family.
Yes! Oh my god, I forgot to talk about that. Yeah.
I really
the pimped out chainsaw.
That.
Oh my god, where are we? Number 4. Oh wow. This was surprising me because I was not expecting to have this one at a higher spot than you. Texas Chainsaw 3D. Get him, cuz! I can't help it. It's just like, it never gets fucking old. It's so bad. So bad. It's good. Like, I genuinely enjoy watching it because it's just so stupid. Like, we have a blast every single time we watched it.
Absolutely.
Like, it's like one of our second friendship movies.
It is. Yeah, and another good thing about this one, too, is that they do have the iconic, like, butt shot, and I love that. I want all of them to have that.
For the girl. Oh, the iconic song.
Oh my gosh.
He'll fuck you up. God damn, he'll fuck you up.
Oh my god, there is a song in it, and it's so good. You can literally find it on Spotify, you guys. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with it. What is it called? Does it say God will fuck you up? Oh my god. Do you know how everybody's like, oh my god, she likes Seed of Chucky. That's her number 1. Now Texas Chainsaw 3D is gonna be like, oh my god, you like Texas Chainsaw 3D? This girl has no taste. Don't trust anything she says. At number 3, I have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. I was pleasantly surprised this would be here because when you and I did our comparison video, I didn't say I hated it. I said I did like it, but I said I don't prefer it. Like, I wouldn't watch it over the original, which I still stand by that. But I think I appreciate it more having watched all of the movies in the franchise, because I can just see that they really did put a lot of effort. And also, I can understand how a lot of people find it fun, because it's so much more fun than most of the movies in the franchise. I will say this one is also really quotable, because I have been quoting this one scene, which maybe nobody else is doing it, but when she's like, I don't want tea, I want a phone.
I don't want to see on a phone. Also, at my number 3 is also the 2003 remake.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. When you said that, I'm like, are we going to have the same exact top 3? Maybe, perhaps, we shall see. But honestly, I think it's one of the very few pretty solid remakes. It's just as grimy and yucky, and like, it makes you feel nasty, like the original one. Like, they kept so true to that. And then the guy that they got to play Leatherface in this one, like, he did pretty good. He's probably one of the better actors that they've gotten to play Leatherface. And of course, that that green early 2000s color grading, you can't go wrong with that. It's such a vibe. Aesthetically, it's so good. Like,
love the green. And speaking of loving the green, at number 2, I have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning, because I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. You guys, it was my first time watching it, and I really love it. I loved it so much. Not only was the entire cast super beautiful people, but everybody was so talented, and everybody was doing such a great job.
This is also my number 2. So do you want to just like bang it out?
Let's do it
together. Let's go. I think this is one of the very, well, few, if not only ones where your leads are actually likable.
Yeah.
And they're actually interesting, and the story at the time makes sense. Matt Bomer, don't even get me started on this man's performance in this movie. Like, we already know he's a king. But in this one, he's just reminding you he is the moment. His whole death scene is probably the only time that I've come close to almost crying to any character in any of these movies.
It's so good. I was so surprised, because most of the time for me, these movies from the early and mid 2000s, they kind of are not as effective anymore, and they don't hold up. But the death scene of his character is super effective.
Also, for those of you who don't know, for whatever reason, this is actually a legitimate prequel to the 2003 remake.
Another thing with the beginning, and this is why it's above the 2003, is that in this film, they paid a lot of homage to the original film. Like, they kind of gave you that dinner scene a little bit.
Thank God.
And it was really good. It was really effective. And then they also had a moment where Jordana Brewster jumps out the window like Sally. Another thing I want to say is that I want the super green, blue horror movies back. Can we get that back? Can we get that, like, super The Ring coloring? Let's do it. And speaking of vibes, at number 1, I have, and I'm pretty sure Melissa also has, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974.
The one that started it all, and honestly could have just been its standalone thing.
I mean, kind of like how me and Melissa discussed the original in our comparison video. I mean, this is such a timeless movie. He's terrifying in the movie. I mean, a lot of the issues I have with the franchise is that he kind of becomes less and less scary as the movies go on. And that's like an issue for me. And that's why my top 3, I feel like all of the Leatherfaces in the first one, the beginning, and then 2003, they're all pretty scary, and the actors do a great job.
I don't know if they will probably never be able to top that off, because I can still, and I will forever talk about this, that moment when Sally thinks she's finally found help and she realizes that everyone in that town is in on it, and you just see every emotion drained from her face because she knows she's done. There's like no salvation. There's like no nice way out of that situation. Like, that feeling of dread, like, they do so well And then that one again with the color grading and everything and capturing all those emotions, like it's so well written out.
The tone, the essence of the movie, it's all super good. And honestly, the movie holds up. It's still scary. To me, it's definitely one of the scariest horror films ever made because it really does feel like something that could happen. Okay, so Melissa, thanks so much for hanging out with me and ranking the entire Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise with me.
Of course. It's been an honor. I like being here, guys. Hi.
We love to see a queen. So Melissa, before you leave here today, can you tell us where people can find you on social media?
Yes. You can follow my personal Instagram page. It's at _Mel is Strange, which I'm sure will be linked in the bottom. I also have my art page. It's been a little bit on hiatus for a bit, but it's going to be picking up soon if you guys want to check that out. It's at Strange Art, but Strange is spelled a little funky. I'll have the spelling down there as well. And yeah, I do art. If you like spooky stuff, if you want to just come out and hang and chat, dude, come through. Like, let's be spooky besties.
I will have all of Melissa's links down in the description box below so you can follow her and check out her super cool spooky art. Alright you guys, that is it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe as it really helps me a lot. And be sure to click that little notification bell to be up to date every single time I upload. And let me know in the comments, how would you rank the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise? Do you like them? Are they not really for you? I'd love to talk about it. Also, again, a special thanks to Melissa for being here on the channel with me again today. Don't forget to check out all her links in the description box down below, as well as my socials and my Patreon if you want to check it out. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.